The Food Safety Modernization Act, also known as FSMA, was signed into law on January 4, 2011 by President Obama and is considered the most sweeping reform of the United States food safety laws in over 70 years. FSMA's overall objective is to focus on prevention of food safety issues. One of the rules under FSMA is the Produce Safety Rule, or PSR. The PSR is the first mandatory federal food safety standard for the production of fruits and vegetables in the United States. The Food Safety Modernization Act, PSR, covers farms that grow, pack, harvest, or hold fresh produce. Some farms may be exempt from the Produce Safety Rule based on two qualifications: the type of commodity produced and the value of annual produce and food sales. In this video, we'll discuss qualifications for exemption in further detail. Produce that is considered rarely consumed raw by FDA is exempt from the rule. Commodities on this list are rarely consumed in their natural state. Instead, they are cooked or processed, typically being baked, fried, or boiled, minimizing food safety concerns. There's also an exemption for produce that undergoes commercial processing, as with canning, juicing, and pasteurization. The PSR covers the harvestable parts of fruits, vegetables, mushrooms, tree nuts, and herbs. These foods that are sold to consumers and intended for raw consumption are considered produce that is covered by the Produce Safety Rule. Some exempt produce items that are rarely consumed raw include asparagus, eggplant, okra, winter squash, and potatoes. A complete list of the exempt produce items is available from the FDA. Some farms are exempt from the FSMA Produce Safety Rule based on annual produce sales. Produce from farms having an annual average value of produce sold during the previous 3-year period of $25,000 or less are considered exempt. This number is adjusted for inflation on a yearly basis. In 2022, the value was $29,243. The rule also provides a qualified exemption and modified requirements for certain farms. To be eligible for a qualified exemption, the farm must meet two requirements. First, the farm must have food sales averaging less than $500,000 per year, adjusted for inflation during the previous 3 years. Food includes produce and other commodities grown on the farm for human and animal consumption. Examples include non-produce commodities like jams or jellies, sales of food at on-farm restaurants, and livestock sales. The second qualification is that the majority, or 51%, of the farm's produce sales must be to qualified end users during the previous 3 years. A qualified end user is either the consumer of the food or a restaurant or retail food establishment located in the same state or on the same Indian reservation as the farm, or being not more than 275 miles away. A qualified exempt farm must still meet certain modified requirements. This includes disclosing the name and the complete business address of the farm where the produce was grown. This can be either on the produce label or displayed on a sign or placard at the point of purchase. These farms are also required to establish and keep certain documentation. A farm's qualified exemption can be withdrawn if the farm is linked to a foodborne illness outbreak or if qualified exemption requirements are not met. If you are still uncertain if your farm is excluded or qualifies for an exemption, please contact your local extension agent. Produce safety affects everyone in the food system, the grower, consumer, and everyone in between. With increasing numbers of foodborne illnesses worldwide, it's important to remember that all farms, regardless of size, location, or commodities grown, play a role in food safety. It's important that all growers follow food safety guidelines to ensure safe produce in the marketplace.